Live, the news you count on. Gulf Coast News at 3 on NBC.
Right now, taking a live look at the tropics as our team of meteorologists are watching two areas of interest. Thank you so much for counting on Gulf Coast News at 3. I'm Alex Howard.
And I'm Channing Frampton. Gulf Coast meteorologist Caroline Castora now keeping a close eye on the Caribbean in the days ahead.
Yeah, everyone always gets a little bit anxious when they see an area to watch designated by the National Hurricane Center a little bit closer to home. We haven't really seen that this season, and so yes, we have that one down there in the Caribbean. Earlier this morning, this one was outlined up in the northern Atlantic. Really not concerned about that one up there. We'll talk about it, though, here in a second. Let's take a trip down to the Caribbean Sea, though, to take a look at this area to watch. It's associated with the same tropical wave that's moving across the central Atlantic as we speak. We've been tracking that for a few days. Gradual development is possible over the next several days as this wave likely enters the Caribbean by the middle part of this next week. Now, earlier this afternoon, they dropped the development odds, at least for the next 2 days. Earlier this morning, it was 10%. They dropped it back down to 0. Over the next week, it's held strong at 30% odds of developing. That's still on the low end of the scale. This other area to watch up in the northern Atlantic, you see that swirl. It's actually a non-tropical area of low pressure. That's why I'm not really concerned about it. Also because it's set to move into colder waters out to sea, so away from land. 10% odds of developing over the next 2 and the next 7 days, so really not a concern. We're going to talk more about the tropics here coming up. Plus, it's Friday, so let's get you ready for the weekend. I'll have your full weekend forecast here in about 15 minutes.
All right, Caroline, thank you. New today, 2 men in Charlotte County are accused of trying to have sex at a pair of parks where families visit. Undercover deputies busted the men at Charlotte Flatwoods Environmental Park near US 41 at William Gaines Jr. Veterans Park in Port Charlotte. Our Gulf Coast News reporter Kendall Brandt joins us live from Veterans Park, where people were disturbed to hear what happened. Kendall?
One of those men exposed himself and even touched an undercover deputy here at Port Charlotte's William R. Gaines Jr. Park. This is a place where many families gather. It happened at the kayak ramp just around the corner from this playground where parents and grandparents expect a safe environment for their kids to have a good time.
It's extremely uncomfortable to think about somebody exposing themselves. You don't want your children seeing that. I'm sure other people don't even want to see that.
A deputy arrested Stephen Berkey for exposing himself at 4 in the afternoon yesterday. It happened just around the corner from the playground here at Gaines Jr. Veterans Park when an undercover detective approached him. The two met up near the kayak launch when Berkey made moves on the deputy to have sex. Then at Charlotte Flatwoods Environmental Park, a detective approached John Jerishin, who led him to his van where he began playing porn, then exposed himself. The detective said other people could have seen this. Parents like Desiree Fusick say they're glad deputies are doing something about this disturbing behavior.
I mean, these people shouldn't be allowed to just roam free and do these kind of things. This should definitely be punishable. Like I said, this could traumatize not only the children, but other people as well. Older children, you know, even teenagers. This kind of behavior shouldn't be acceptable.
Both of these arrests come as a part of undercover operations targeting this kind of behavior as well as drug use at our local parks. Live in Port Charlotte, Kendall Brandt, Gulf Coast News.
Breaking now with 3, a Cape Coral cat owner who says her boyfriend pinned one of her cats to the ground and hit it repeatedly, successfully made it through surgery, thank goodness. This is new video of the cats we exclusively picked up showing the cats. Cape Coral police say Travis Fair told his girlfriend that the 2 cats got into a fight, leading to the injuries. However, the victim says video shows Fair pulling a cat out from under a bed and punching it.
And more breaking news, a Charlotte County woman will spend the next 15 years in prison, along with several years of probation for murder. The state attorney's office says Jalissa Villa was found guilty. Charlotte County deputies say 18-year-old Lionel Jean was shot and killed in September of 2024. Deputies say Jean and his girlfriend invited over another teen, leading to that robbery and shooting.
A man in Lee County will spend the next 250 days in jail after pleading guilty to animal cruelty. Fort Myers police say Jelaine Williams, who you see here, tethered a dog along Franklin Street in Fort Myers. Police say this got to the point where the dog's collar got embedded into its neck. Officers at the scene say Williams was out of town at the time when this happened back in April, and that the dog was sold to his girlfriend's friend. However, witnesses told officers Williams is the dog owner and later surrendered ownership to Lee County Domestic Animal Services.
They went ahead and said I had a warrant out for my arrest. They asked for payment over the phone, and I gave them my debit card information.
Well, that man says he fell for a scammer pretending to be a Lee County deputy earlier this month. Gulf Coast News reporter Samantha Romero has the warning signs so you don't fall for it, too.
Lee County resident Kyle McHenry says he got a call he never would have expected.
They went ahead and said I had a warrant out for my arrest.
But it was all a lie. 2 weeks ago, McHenry says a scammer pretended to be a deputy. LCSO says the caller told McHenry he would be arrested if he didn't give his Suncoast Credit Union bank information.
The person was name dropping the real deputy's name, so I thought it was real. And I didn't find out it was a scam until I called the sheriff's office myself.
McHenry only lost $100 and his bank gave him his money back, but he relies on monthly Social Security checks, and missing 1 month could have ended much worse.
It's kind of sad because I'm autistic, and it's kind of sad that they're doing this to people that are having like disabilities.
His message for these scammers:
get a job.
He laughs now, but he hopes people can take something from the lesson he learned the hard way.
Do not fall for it. Always call the sheriff's office yourself to see if you have a warrant out for your arrest. Never give your bank information out to nobody that you do not know.
In Lee County, Samantha Romero, Gulf Coast News.
Florida Highway Patrol says they arrested 4 super speeders overnight. This is video of troopers along State Road 82. Troopers say 19-year-olds Edil Castro Santos and Yasniel Frere were caught racing. They're accused of going more than 100 miles per hour. Their cars were also impounded for 30 days. FHP says troopers also arrested 2 other people. Troopers say they arrested a motorcyclist going over 100 miles per hour on I-75 and a 3rd super speeder going 97 while drunk.
19-year-olds may think that they're invincible, but one little mistake and we have a tragedy. And that's how easy it could happen.
LCSO also arrested more super speeders this week. Jose Escalante is accused of going 101 miles per hour on his pickup truck along Treeline Avenue in Lee County. Deputies say he almost hit a box truck. And on Wednesday, deputies arrested Joel Ortiz for going 133 miles per hour. This also happened on Treeline. LCSO says Ortiz told them he didn't know why he was getting pulled over.
A woman from Boca Grande is set to spend the next 6 years in prison after pleading no contest to stealing money. Staff from Scarpa's Coastal Restaurant on Boca Grande say Teresa Lessa, who you see here, started stealing from them in May of 2023. Teresa is the mother of Jordan Rivera, who lost his arm in an alligator attack in Port Charlotte. Those thefts happened around the same time Lessa was supporting her son. She had been facing fraud and grand theft charges. Breaking now with 3, former Trump National Security Advisor John Bolton pleads not guilty. He turned himself in to law enforcement this morning. Bolton is accused of illegal transmission and retention of classified information. He was indicted yesterday. Bolton served in the first Trump administration. He became a sharp critic of the president and published a book about his experience. Here's what President Trump had to say about it.
He took classified information and he published it during a presidency. It's not, it's one thing to write a book after, during, and I believe that he's a criminal, and I believe, frankly, he should go to jail for that.
Bolton is accused of keeping more than 1,000 pages of information in diary-like entries from his job as President Trump's national security advisor. He is also accused of emailing them to 2 people. The indictment shows Bolton's email was hacked by Iran after he left office. Bolton did report that to law enforcement, but prosecutors say he failed to inform them about the classified material.
Charges were dropped for a Florida man who left his dog tied up on the side of I-75 while evacuating during Hurricane Milton. This is video of the dog that's been named Trooper. Court documents say charges against Giovanni Aldama Garcia were dropped this week because of insufficient evidence. A trooper rescued the dog in Tampa, and it now has a new home.
Today is the second and final weekend for Boo at the Zoo, a spooky, fun tradition at the Naples Zoo. It's happening today through Sunday from 9 in the morning to 1 in the afternoon. The zoo is bringing movies to life and mythical magic throughout the zoo. The zoo is going to be magically transformed to a living movie scene for guests and everyone to enjoy.
Right when you arrive at Boo at the Zoo, you'll be greeted by a stilt walker and then dinosaurs, Captain America, and flamingos. It's a great time, and everybody will have a good time at Boo at the Zoo. We have 2 more days, Saturday and Sunday.
If you're planning on going, the zoo says costumes, they've got to be family friendly. No inflatable costumes are allowed. And keep this in mind, adults cannot wear a costume that has a mask that covers their face. Well, the clock is ticking. Coming up, how you can give your input on the future of the Cape Coral Bridge before it's too late.
And a food fight could be brewing in the courtroom over peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. What a new lawsuit claims. That's next.